Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and tonight we have a very special guest. This basketball head is an Andrew Jackson standout. He was coached by New York City legendary head coach Chuck Granby, second on the PSAL all-time win list. At Jackson, he averaged 16 points per game, playing with the likes of Jackson greats Steve Frazier and Ted Portwine. So you already know his 16 could have easily been 6. I know all too well playing with great players. After graduating Andrew Jackson, he attended Cortland State University. At Cortland State, he averaged 11 points in his freshman year, but decided to transfer to Thompson Cortland Community College, where he put up 20 points per game and was named All MSAC Team Honors in 1993 and 1994. Would you pay attention to the 93 and 94? Very important. After college, he continued to play ball and scorch guys in the Pro-Am leagues throughout New York City, to about every league. When we was working together, my guy was still playing. He was still putting in that work. Putting in 40, 50. Well, we're going to wait to hear what he said, because I already know he put in that work. Nowadays, my guy is a head science teacher, athletic director, and head basketball coach at Martin DePorres High School. In 2013, 2014, remember I told you about them 3-4 years. In 2013, 2014, Martin DePorres won the prestigious IPPSAL championship. We're going to get into that too. Without further ado, help me welcome to the show, Andrew Jackson standout, Thomas Cortland community great, and head coach at my school, Martin DePorres High School, Atef, Aiken.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online. Buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What up, man?
What's going on, man? You can hear me? Everything good?
Everything good, bro. You look perfect. That's perfect right there, man. Wait for some more people to get in the room. What's happening Wednesday? What's going on? Thanks for the support for the shirt. Appreciate you, brother. Jonathan, what's up? Hey, Robin, what's happening? Man, oh man. This was a busy day, man.
Tell me about it.
No doubt. I want to first dedicate this show to my cousin who lost his life a couple of weeks ago. Rest in peace, cuz. We're saying that. Welcome to the show, Atef, Aiken. What's happening, my man?
You already know.
Listen, Callie said, yo, you must have had to pull that guy teeth to get him up on IG, man.
That's a fact. You know me, Glenn. I'm not a front page. I'm a behind the scenes kind of dude, man. Grassroots. That's what I've always been, man.
That's right. Low key, man. Low key, man.
As a matter of fact, if you wasn't who you were, man, I probably wouldn't do it. You know, man. I suggest 1,000 people for you to interview though, but I probably wouldn't do it for myself.
Facts. I appreciate you, brother. Well, I like to ask everybody who come up on the show, man, is who introduced you to the game?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Well, I like to ask everyone who come on the show is who introduced you to the game?
Who introduced me to basketball? Well,
Yeah.
I guess it would have to be my pops. You know what I mean? Like when I was a little dude, man, 2 or 3, man, he would take me to the basketball court and I would just sit there and hold the ball between my legs. You know what I mean? And just watch. So I guess if it had to be anybody, it would have to be my pops.
Wow. And what part of Queens are you from, brother?
All of them, man. I'm from Left Rack. I'm from St. Albans. Shout out OCP. Shout out Iraq. Y'all already know. I'm from freaking Corona. Y'all know me over there. I'm from wherever, man. All parts of Queens. I'm from all parts of Queens. I mean, and anybody who's watching this and is around, that's around basketball, they've seen me somewhere. Yeah, y'all see me in Ajax. Yeah, y'all see me in Southside. Yeah, y'all see me in East Elmhurst. Yeah, y'all see me all over. Man, I'm just, I'm just a basketball, like the show. I'm just a basketball head, man, and that's just what I did. I just played ball wherever I could, whenever I could.
That's real, man. And one thing I know about you, man, you all Queens, fam. And I tell a lot of people, man, we all represent New York City, man, but you gotta have pride where you from. And New York City got 5 boroughs, and the Q borough, man. Much respect to the Q borough.
That's a fact, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of talent coming out of Queens, man.
Definitely. So what age you caught the basketball bug? Like what age did it was like, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Yo, shout out to Coach Leroy Shaw. I don't know if you guys remember him. Back in the day, I know he played a little professional ball back in the day. But Coach Leroy Shaw in CIS 166 was my junior high school basketball coach. And I remember being in the gym. And I remember he was just playing around with the kids, and I'm watching him hit jump shots from like 30 feet, and I'm watching him take layups and dunking the ball with both hands over the rim. And I'm like, man, this is that game. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like I can't really put a time on when I was introduced to the game or when I really caught that bug. But whenever I was around the game, I always got that feeling. You always got that itch. Like somebody would do something, and you would just feel like, and to you, it would just be like, this shit is just so amazing. Like, this is just so dope that I got to be able to do it. I want to do it. So you go out and you imitate and you practice and you try to do it until you can. But it would definitely be about, I guess I'd say about age 11, maybe 12, junior high school basketball, playing junior high school basketball at CS 166 in the Bronx.
Well, you watching, your coach shoot those threes from 30 and dunk the ball with 2 hands over the rim is something that you actually was able to do.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's dope.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So do you remember your first game and how well did you do?
Man, my first game, I was the worst. I thought I was the worst thing ever, man. I was so scared I couldn't even think straight. You know what I mean? You know how you sitting on that bench and you know that you're about to go in, but you don't know when coach gonna put you in, and then turn to give you that look and tell you to come on in. Man, listen, I don't know, but I got in the game, and I think I got in the game. And I didn't do anything super spectacular. I think I got like a really tough rebound. You know what I mean? And then everybody in the stands was like, oh, good. And then like all that nervousness just went away. And then it just became excitement. It just became fun. It was just like, oh, man, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? Right. I can't, yeah. But I was scared.
That first game, everything is going so fast. The referee's calling plays. The crowd is yelling. The coach is yelling plays out.
Man, I'm so nervous in the game, man. We shooting free throws, and the ref is telling me, yo, you can't stand there. You can't stand there. You got to move up one. And I'm still stuck in the same spot that I started in. Like, he's like, yo, you got to move up one. I was like, And then I really came to and realized what was going on. It was like, oh, man, I'm embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? So, but
learning process. Yeah,
absolutely. It was part of the process, but it's all part of the process.
So when you was coming up, who was the best player in your neighborhood?
I gotta say, there's a couple of dudes. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like the pinnacle of basketball for me would have to be out in OCP. Now I'm gonna shout out O'Connell Park. All of my dudes from over in St. Albans. Y'all know Murdoch. Y'all already know. Like, I'm gonna say it would probably have to be like Boo Harvey was up there. Seth Marshall was up there. And then we would get the pros. Like we had Aunt Mason would come to the park on Sundays and just hoop out with us, man. And believe me, man, he used to step out of that little beam. Everybody know who was from OCP know that Aunt Mason would step out of that little 2-door Beamer with no seats in the back, and the Beamer would kind of lift up on one side. It was crazy, you know what I mean? And then I shout out my Jackson people. I remember one day freaking Lloyd Daniels walked in the park. I'm OCP, and I watched this man hit like 20 jump shots from half court off the glass, calling it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it was it was a multitude of people. I don't know if I can put my finger on just one. There was a whole bunch, man. And I tried to steal as much as I could from each one of them dudes.
That's a good group to watch, man. It's a good group to come up under, man. Well, that was gonna be my next question. You know, you answered it twice already about which parks had the most action and where could guys go to get some good rec coming up. That was OCP.
Oh, definitely. O'Connell was definitely one. All right. For all my people's out on left rank, I know Lost Battalion Hall. You know, shout out Aim High. All my people's that used to hoop out with us over there. That was definitely one. Ajax Park, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and that was for a while. They kind of held us down in Queens where all the ball players played. You know what I'm saying?
That and during my time, Ajax was like the park out in Queens. Yes.
Yeah, that kind of held us down for a while. You know, we also Battalion Cash, but that's a fact. Yeah, we also had Louis Armstrong Center out in East Elmhurst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was some pretty good run going on out there too, man. I gotta shout it out, you know. You know, and then other than that, man, we would just shoot around. We would go everywhere though, man. It wasn't just like one place or one borough. You know what I mean? Like when we were coming up, man, like you could go play anywhere. You can go play with anybody. And it's love. It's love. As soon as they seen your face and they recognize you as a baller, it was love. You know what I mean? Like we would go into Manhattan, play on like West 4th, it'd be all good. We go to 145th, we go to the battlegrounds uptown, it'd be all good. You know what I mean? We go out 161st on 161st behind Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and all my dudes know when the lights was put on that night, everybody was going there to hoop. You know what I mean? Like, but it didn't really matter. So it was just a multitude of places you could go and just get good run in New York. You know what I mean? So, but my Queens heads know. Ajax held us down. Louis Armstrong held us down. Lost Battalion held us down. That's a fact.
No doubt, no doubt. So what made going to Andrew Jackson so special? You know, I know they had a rich tradition. It's like going to Lincoln out in Queens or Boys and Girls, right? What made Andrew Jackson so special for you guys?
Bro, it was a community experience, bro. It wasn't a basketball game. When you went to a game, it was a community experience. Like you would see everybody. It's first of all, games were standing. That's the first place I've seen basketball where it was standing room only in the JV game. You know what I mean? Like some of our JV games. Shout out,
right?
Matt Crizzo. Y'all remember back then when you guys was playing JV? Like in JV games, it was standing room only. And they was looking at the next thing coming up. You know what I mean? After that, the tradition that we had with dudes like Dave Edwards, everybody was always looking for who's gonna be that next dude. Who's going to be that next dude? So all of the games were packed. It wasn't just a varsity game. And God forbid you can get into a varsity game. You better get that game an hour early to the game so you can get a spot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was a community experience. And not just at the game, it's around the community. Like people around the community recognize you as being somebody who plays on the team. And there was a certain amount of respect and a certain amount of love, you know, that went along with that. You know what I mean? And probably the most galvanizing thing there was Coach Granby.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it real. Right? He was a show all to himself. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times he done yanked the dude out of the game for making a mistake and screaming in his face, and the crowd looking like, oh, he gonna talk to him like that. And yeah, he's gonna talk to him like that because we seen him because we seen Coach as our pops. You know what I mean? He was like that father figure for a lot of us out there. So yeah, he did it like that. You know what I mean? And the results are proven. You know, one of the greatest.
Yo, listen, I was talking to Coach Ray Haskins, legendary New York City coach from Alexander Hamilton, LIU. Y'all know who he is. He said, Glenn, I don't know how Ron DeClario became the winningest coach in PSL history past Chuck Granby. Now, there was no hate. He was just saying, now, when you guys is playing, Glenn, when you guys is coming up, was Cardoza anything? Did y'all know anything about Cardoza? I was like, nah. He said, so if y'all didn't know about him, that means they wasn't doing any winning. Did you know about Andrew Jackson? I was like, yeah, they had Boo Harvey, Ron Edwards, Dave Edwards. You know, you guys, we knew. And it's not to start any controversy. We just talking about a conversation that we had with Coach. And knowing that Chuck Granby has been coaching God knows how long. We going back, what, 70s maybe?
Yeah.
Late 70s?
Yeah.
Early 80s, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. It's a lot of people will say that would say, man, like Coach Granby. I played for Coach Granby. It's a lot of people, man. Yes,
Now,
absolutely,
this is not to take away what Ron DeClario has accomplished or
absolutely not.
what he's done. A legendary coach within his own right. Coming
Indeed.
into our community, helping our kids, you
Indeed.
know, that really don't look like him, but he had a passion for our kids, and he helped a lot of the kids that came up in Queens. So salute to Coach Ron DeClario. It's just, I got you on, and I got to talk about it. I'm the journalist now. I'm not, who at work, Glenn at work.
Yeah.
I got to be the journalist. I got to ask the hard questions. And it's something for people to think about. Now, hold on. So, I just want to do this real quick, and we're going to continue because I should have did this before, but it made me think about this now that, we start talking about Coach. Because Coach coached me in the 80s in the Empire State Games.
Empire State Games. Yeah, you remember? Yeah, that was another one.
He was
man.
so legendary. He was one of the best coaches. Him, Paul Brown, Ray Nash, and Mickens.
Mm.
And I think Ray Nash and Mickens coached the high school, and Granby and Paul Brown coached the open team. So Coach was my coach for 4 years. I played 4 Empire State years. And 1 high school year. 5 gold medals. Right? So Coach has been around. Okay. They said he has amassed 722 wins in 45 years. He did not lose a home game from 1972 to 1985. Are y'all hearing me?
I listen. We don't listen, Jack. Man, we couldn't lose at home.
We
man.
averaged 23.
You're not
games,
losing at home.
22 games a season.
Listen, man. Listen. If you play for Granby, you know, right? We wasn't blessed with the 6'9s. We wasn't blessed with the super big boys like Kraft. When we got Kraft in, bro, we was like, oh yeah, we good. You know what I mean? We got a big, but we wasn't blessed with that at Jack, man. We had dudes that was average height. We had dudes that were average players. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck, right? We was average players, but what we had and what he always preached was that grit. You know what I mean? He always preached that grit. And then nobody's gonna come into your house and do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So at home we played with a whole different fire. There was a whole different level of intensity, and you can feel it as soon as you walk through the door. As soon as you walk in the gym, you know it. Yeah, you're gonna be in for a game.
Let me see. We're not even talking about that. So, but this is what I'm saying, right? And Coach is like, maybe we got to do some investigation. I don't want to prove and say, well, Coach Granby has more wins than Ron DeClario because he's a black man. This has nothing to do with that. We just talking about the game. Like, I knew who Ron DeClario was because he was cool with Hirsch, right? Hirsch was an assistant, was a special ed teacher at Weston House. Him and DeClario was cool, and we had this team. It wasn't an AAU team. We played some summer tournaments, but mostly we were playing upstate and like jails, reform schools, and things of that nature. And who we were sponsored by, our sponsor was this guy named Richie the Fixer Perry.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not gonna get too much into that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell that story one day.
Yeah, that's
right? But what I'm just saying is that's how I knew Ron DeClario, not as a winning coach from Cardozo. I knew he coached Cardozo. And I just want to, maybe I need to interview him and find out more, right? Because I just don't want to talk one side and not have his voice heard.
But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. from my experience, right? All right, Coach Niclario, like when I was coming up in Jackson, I mean, Cardozo was on his way up, and that was like our rivalry in Queens, right?
But they were on
A
their
couple
way.
of players,
They were on their way.
yeah, a couple of players that played for us kind of transferred over there, so the rivalry was kind of, was kind of thick. We was like, all right, when we see them, we gonna go at them. So we end up meeting in the game for Queens County champs. Remember they used to have Queens champs and Brooklyn champs back in the day.
Right.
Yeah. So we were basically battling for the borough in this particular game. All right. Now they ended up beating us at the buzzer with a jump shot by my man Chris. All right, and people know Chriso, little Chriso. Hit a game win on us at the buzzer to send them to the Garden and for us not to get in, right?
What year was this? What year?
Oh man, this got to be 91. Now it's got to be 91, right? And I had a good game. I I didn't miss many shots. You know what I mean? I hit a lot. Of course, the game went through Steve. Steve averaged 40. Shout out my dude, Steve Frazier, right? One of the best pure shooters I've ever seen. But he went and played out. He went on Steve when I played out of Miami for a little bit, right? Well, Steve had about 40 that game. He was hitting everything, but I was the other guy on the other side, and I was hitting a few, and coach called the play to Steve to win the game, as he should have. Steve carried this all year. That's who he should have went to.
Right.
So he and Steve didn't make the shot, right? But we live with it. We take our losses. We take our losses as so. I seen Coach Niclario. I can't even call him Ron Niclario. I gotta call him Coach. I seen Coach Niclario.
Yes, Coach Niclario. No disrespect. You're right.
In a grocery store. No, I lied to you not. I see him in a grocery store, and he was behind me, and I turned around and said, "Hey, how you doing, Coach?" And he looked back at me and looked in my face, and he called my name out and my stats and everything from that game, and he told me, "Yo, son, you had a good year that year." You know what I mean? So that told me that he's a little more invested in our neighborhood than a lot of people like to give him that would like to give him credit for. So I
think he should get all the credit in the world for that.
I think so. I really think so, because he really goes out his way. He goes out his way to to make sure that people that look like us have opportunity. And
it started with his dad, who was one of the men who saved Martin Luther King's life when he got stabbed. So, salute to the Niclario family and everything he did for New York City.
That's a fact.
So let's finish into Atef Aiken, right? How was your growth during your high school years?
I had to learn really quick. You know what I mean? The person. I mean, I gotta give shout outs to a few people from Jack that helped me along the way. I transferred into Jack back into Jack in about my sophomore year, right?
From where?
Well, I did a stint. Actually, when I first started playing basketball in high school, I started at Beach Channel High School out in Queens, right?
Beach Channel? All
Beach
this time we out in Far Rockaway?
Actually, you remember Coach Walsh? You remember Coach Walsh? You remember Coach Walsh from Cathedral Prep?
Oh yeah.
He remember me from out here, but but I started off playing that Beach Channel. It was a long track. It was a long track for me to get back and forth home, but I wanted to be in the oceanography program. I was a nerd like that anyway. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be in the oceanography program. So instead of going to my zone school, which would have been Jack, I think at the time, I elected to go out to Beach Channel. So I did that my freshman year, and I played. I played for Coach Maloney for a year. I played JV. Then they let me sit on the end of the varsity bench at the end of my freshman year. You know what I mean? I started there, right? But then I went down south for a year. I lived with my grandmother in South Carolina, so I went down south and I played at school, OW, Orangeburg Wilkinson High School in South Carolina. I played down there for a year, and the coach started me out on JV, and it was pretty similar. At the end of the year, I played with the varsity squad too. But I got a little bit more time on the varsity squad down there, which is a good thing. I also got invited to a camp by Coach Wright down there at the time at South Carolina State. But I played down there for a little bit, and then then I decided I wanted to come back to New York. And when I came back to New York, I came back to Jack.
Nice. Okay. So tell me about playing with Ted Portwine, who will be on the show soon, and Steve Frazier. How was that experience?
All right, which one you want first? I'm gonna give you Ted first. I'm gonna give it to you in chronological order. Right?
There you go.
So,
All right, cool.
So when I get back, to Jack, right? I get to Jack. I come to the school. First of all, I lived in the neighborhood, so everybody knew me. I lived right down the block from the school, so everybody knew me in the neighborhood, and I played with everybody. So when I got on the team, most of the dudes already knew. I didn't have that much experience playing with Ted though at the time, right? And when I got there, Dave had left, and Ted kind of took over as the dude that was that dude on the team, and Ted played my position. We both played the two. So every day in practice, this dude beat me up, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is one of the toughest dudes I've ever had to play against. I was a little taller. I had a little bit of athleticism, right? But Ted just had this grit, bro, and he just had this will that I just couldn't overcome in my sophomore year. Like, he beat me up for a year. Every practice, all through practice, he dragged me. And let it be known, Coach Granby made it apparent to everybody in the gym. You know what I mean? In his way. So every day, I swear to you guys, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, because we practice on Saturdays too. Ted dragged me up and down the court, but it made me so much tougher as a ball player. You know what I mean? I owe that dude a lot because it grew me. You know what I mean? It kind of made me into this person that was willing to stand up for his on the court, no matter who was in front of him. So big shout out. So Ted was incremental in my development because he instilled in me that toughness that I didn't really have when I first walked through the door. Now,
No doubt. Salute Ted Portwine.
Now Steve transferred in from Malloy. Right, so my first year there, Steve wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
So after Ted, I'm supposed to step into this role. You know what I mean, and be that too. But lo and behold, we get the transfer, Steve Frazier from Malloy, and I had experiences. Yeah, Ted wasn't no joke. I don't know who posted that, but yeah, you're right, my dude. Ted.
That's my guy. That's my sponsor. Eric Hicks at Game Over.
Yeah, I watched Ted give dudes 40 on a number of occasions. Easy on a number of occasions, bro. All right. So, Steve came in from Malloy, and he came in with a lot of hype. You know what I mean? Coach and Granby was like, "Oh, we got to do plans." And I'm like, "Yeah, he coming in, but me and Steve play the same position. How this gonna work?" But and when Steve got in, he started playing. He was about my height, he was about my size, and he had about my athleticism, but he was seasoned. Steve
he wasn't scared to shoot 20 times, 25 times a game.
He was seasoned. And I'm like, when I say fundamentally sound, he was fundamentally sound. And that jumper and that jump shot, bro. He's the best jump shooter I've seen in New York City high school basketball. Steve can shoot the ball, bro.
Hold on, fam. Let's make some noise for that right there.
Yeah, Steve can shoot.
Now,
and all my name hot dudes
New York City have a whole bunch of great
I know.
shooters.
I've seen, from what I've seen, all right. And I'm not talking about, you got to exclude the great Lloyd Daniels and so on and so forth. Right. But I've seen, like, Steve was go out there and get 60. Glenn, he was out there getting 60. You know what I mean? But what Steve taught me how to practice. I used to watch him work out. I used to watch him practice. And Steve would be in O'Connell Park at 6 in the morning with his brother, and he's out there putting up 500 to 600 jumpers. And he's going through the footwork, and I'm watching him go through the footwork. He's using the reverse pivots and the front pivots, and he's using all that stuff to get himself open already, right? And none of that stuff I knew. So Steve kind of introduced me to working out and kind of what it meant to be fundamentally sound.
That's true. Says he wasn't a better shooter than Cal McElhonney.
Okay.
I hear that.
That's debatable.
McElhonney can shoot that thing, boy.
I know.
But remember, he said one of the best shooters he's seen.
Yes.
All right. So that's key. But respect. So then we got the 10 and we got the first. Cool. So now you playing behind two great players. And like I said in the intro, for you to average 16 playing with those two was amazing. Because that 16 could have easily been 6.
Yeah, I mean, you had to make when you got your opportunities, you got to make it count. You got to make it count, and you got to get busy. You got to play defense, and you got to grit, and you got to fight, and you got to run. You got to get out on the break and get some easy ones because the play calling, coach running that double screen, that double pin down for Ted. He did it for Ted, and then he did it for Steve. They was coming off that double pin down all the time. So it wasn't a fact. And then when Kraft came in, and then you had Kraft, and then you got to get him his touches. You know what I mean? So whenever you got an opportunity, you had to make do on it. I remember it was myself, Tiba Brown. He played with us those years, and Warren Ross, our point guard. I can thank God for Warren Ross because he was a pure point. He was out there. He could score. He could score, pretty much. He could really pretty much score. But he was more about team and running the team and getting everybody else their touches. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't for the play of people like a scrappy dude like a T-Bud that was out there guarding, defending, and rebounding, and dudes like Warren Ross, man, I wouldn't have been able to get those points. So it's really not an accomplishment of mine per se, just mine. It's an accomplishment of our team and what we had to do in order to take care of each other. You know?
Yeah, look, bro, I can relate. I'm gonna be in that Lincoln and hearing everybody talk about how we weren't going to do anything because Spice, Silk, Damari, Kenny Parker, like all the stars, all the guys had left. John Askews had moved on, and we knew we had something special, man. And it's something about guys who kind of believe in themselves. And like you said, the point guard who gave up on himself, who can score, right? Yeah. Because if he didn't give up on himself, you don't score. Y'all probably don't win because there's no cohesiveness and somebody not sharing the basketball when other guys are going to shoot.
That big part. Warren was a big part of our team, and he really didn't get as much credit as he deserved because he was really a good ball player.
No doubt. So, what teams y'all battled that was tough, and what players gave y'all fits?
Far Rock, Stacey Castle.
Say no more. Say no more.
That was always the big game. That was always the big game.
Taylor, some of the baddest scorers in New York City history. Baddest.
Let me tell you, boy. Stacey Castle gave us fits. It was always Steve versus Stacey. They both was out there averaging about 40 points a game. You know what I mean? And I would just sneak in there and get a few. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you go back and look at the newspaper because then if you average 10 points, your name was in the paper.
Yes,
remember that?
Good. Yep.
Yeah, you get 10 points, you're in the paper. You go back and look at the newspaper. I got 17 here. You know what I mean? 18 there. You know. So, but Stacey Castle and Far Rock was one of our toughest. And then Cardozo was on the way up. I'd always shout them out and give them props to where they are. There was another team that we played, but they weren't in our conference. You know what I mean? Ryan Oliver out of Springfield.
Yes.
That year, man, he was on a mission that year. I got to shout my boy out too. He was really on a mission that year. My man Wes Nelson out at Hillcrest. I don't know if a lot of people know about Wes Nelson from Hillcrest. Wes Nelson was a bad boy. Wes and Colin, like them dudes, they gave us fits out there too. Colin Walker, Wes Nelson, big shout outs, y'all. Yeah.
No doubt, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to save this question later because I know this question is going to be a lot relevant later on than it is now. So we're going to come back to that one. Trust me, I'm not going to forget it. So, now, you guys, how far did you guys reach?
One game from the Garden. One game from the Garden.
Was that Cardozo game?
That Cardozo game. One game from the Garden. Cardozo knocked us out. Yep. One game from the Garden. One shot.
And would you say that was their climb?
It was definitely.
Y'all declining around that time?
Yeah, it was definitely part of their ascension. You know what I mean? It was definitely part of it. So, absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about, you find a school to go to, you get to go to Cortland State, right? University.
Mm-hmm.
What was that process like? What did you go through, and why did you eventually leave?
I mean, honestly, I didn't even know what it was. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even want to go. Like schools like that wasn't even on my radar. You know what I mean? Like on my personal radar. But I'm being honest, and I was kind of upset about this for a minute because you know how coaches do. Coaches kind of lead you where they think you are, so where you should go, and you get your head full of all of these ideas of where you should be and what you need to and what you should do. You know what I mean? Um, I'm just happy that I had somebody like Coach Granby in my corner because he kind of focused me and sent me where I needed to be. You know what I mean? I ended up going up to Cortland. Cortland's like a little, you know, a SUNY school, Division III school. But you'll know that if anybody who's been up there and played in the SUNY league, you guys know that the talent was far better than regular Division III talent. I mean, you had schools up there like Buff State and Binghamton who went Division I. You were Albany, we played against, like they went Division I. Like so the competition and the experience of those schools upstate kind of don't get the props that they deserve because
Right.
it's really an experience. Like we traveled on a charter bus and we took planes and you know what I mean, and we had the whole experience of you know going into the athletic room and getting our equipment, and we had our personal assistant coaches that worked us out on the side and our weight training coaches and all that good stuff. Like so we had the full experience, right? I mean, even to the point where I walk out and go to like I don't know Pizza Hut or something in the neighborhood around the school, and they would just give me free stuff because I played on the team. So you were really treated like almost like professional athletes up there. And I think people don't. I think a lot of kids don't really understand that an experience as such could be just as valuable as going to a Louisville or whatever that kids kind of build up in their minds where they want to go. You know what I mean? But I had those delusions of grandeur too. I had them too. Like I thought, you know, that I was going to the league and everybody think about some miraculous way that you're gonna find your way to the league. And coach kind of refocused me and he kind of told me that, you know, some people are gonna have to give it back. And it's like, and some people, it's like you're gonna be good, right? It's like if this basketball thing don't work out for you, like you're a smart kid, you got a good head, you got a good family, you got a good head on your shoulders, like you're gonna be okay. You're gonna graduate high school and you're gonna be able to take care of you and your family. And then you're gonna have the responsibility of giving it back to somebody else that's coming along. You know, so he was kind of grooming me to kind of continue his legacy. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand it at the time because when you're young, you don't understand it. But as I got older, I kind of put it together. Like, oh, I see what happened. I know what coach was doing, and it was absolutely the right thing. You know, so but I went up there and I played a year, and I'm up there now, and I'm you know, and I'm not the man. I'm not the man. Like they got seniors there, you know, but I'm the man though. You know what I mean? Like even though I'm not the leading scorer, even though I didn't even start my freshman year there, everybody knew me as being like when they came to the games, they came to see me play. You know what I mean? They wanted to see me hit 5 or 6 threes or catch 3 or 4 dunks a game. Like they was looking for me. So even though I wasn't I didn't start my freshman year, I was definitely like the fan favorite, and people came, you know, a lot of people that was around came to see me play. So I let it be known. Offensively, I killed. I killed. I came in the game short minutes. Boom. I'm gonna change the game around immediately as soon as I walk in the game. As soon as I get in the game. But I wasn't ready for college life at that point though. You know what I mean? I was young. I was kind of inexperienced. I got this newfound freedom. You know what I mean? I'm out here open. It's parties. It's chicks everywhere. You know, you kind of get caught up in that whole mix. I definitely got caught up in that mix. You know what I mean? And I'll be 100% transparent because I'm hoping that somebody watching can take my experience and make better decisions down the road. Right? So I got caught up with chicks. And, you know, my freshman year, I ended up getting somebody pregnant and ended up having a kid. Man, that turned everything around immediately. Immediately. My mind was no longer on basketball. My mind was on how I'm going to tell my mom I got this chick pregnant. You know what I mean? So academically, I fell off. I just completely fell off, and I was way too smart to fall off.
I know. I'm saying, wow. First time I heard this,
way too smart. But you know, life caught up with me. Like, and all these new experiences came rushing at me. So I had to get myself together. You know what I mean? Coach Conowitz was a coach at Cortland at the time. He was like, yo, you know, academically, son, this is not working out for anybody, for us. You know what I mean? So I ended up going to a JUCO the next year. You know, so I went to a JUCO next year, and the best thing happened to me when I went to a JUCO. I messed around and found a chick that was about her books. You know what I mean? And she kind of got me back into studying, got me into time management, like all the stuff I had no clue of how to do. I kind of learned how to do as I was moving along, and then my basketball game started to pick up. After that, you know, at that year, second year in college, your body starts to physically mature. So I'm doing things I ain't never did before. I'm catching tap dunks, you know, dunks with the rebound with my head by the rim. You know what I mean? I'm doing crazy. I'm out here like what, like but I'm quick. I'm stronger. I'm quicker. I'm more confident being out there on the court in a college situation. You know what I mean? We're running the offense, and I ended up being named to like the all tournament team from the MSAC. All right, and I was the first person in Tompkins Cortland history to get that.
Wow.
I was the first person. Now my boy that came up the next year with me, my boy Drew Principal came up and he put up numbers too. And we were doing it together for a while. We both leaving.
Hold on. Let's make some noise for that, fam. Yeah. Let's definitely make some noise for that, man. Because first person in the whole college history. That's right, my God.
Yeah. So. And I was the first person in our school to actually get those honors, and so my name will ever be sketched in the history books, in all the athletic books up there. So, but shout out, but up there I learned to play though. You know what I mean? There I learned to play. I learned to lead. You know what I mean? I always took a back seat. Was always the backseat guy. Cortland, I didn't have to really lead. I just had to come in. I had the best job on the team. I just could come in the game and put up shots. You know what I mean? So I didn't really have to lead, but at Tompkins Cortland, I had to lead. You know, I had some kids that came in that was a little younger than me. I had a little bit more experience, you know, so I had to turn into a leader and be more vocal. So it's such a big shout out for the school up there. That definitely helped me. That whole situation kind of helped me, and it allowed me to get my books and my grades together. You know, it allowed me to.
Was Thompson near Cortland State?
It was a situation where. But the situation, what the plan was for me to go there so that I can get my grades together, get myself together, so I can get back to Cortland, right? But that didn't end up manifesting, all right? But I went up, so I went and I got my grades together. I think that next year I ended up with like a 3.9. I had like almost a 4.0. I had like a 3.9 point something GPA the next year, for the next two semesters, and then and then I left. Things was getting kind of difficult. I'm up there, and my baby down here. You know what I mean? Because I had a daughter. So my daughter down here, and I'm up there, and I couldn't. You know what I mean? And so I couldn't go and be solely focused on what I was doing up there when I know I had responsibilities that wasn't being met down here. So I ended up coming back home. I came back home, and my JUCO coach came to me and said, "Chief, there's a coach that was asking about you. He wants you to come down for a visit down at CCNY." Right? But it seemed like the lick for me, like that was it, because no longer was I thinking about going to the league. No longer I just wanted to finish out my college career, and I wanted to get my degree. So I came back down to CCNY because my grades were so decent. I was able to get into the engineering program, and they had like a big engineering program. And they partnered with Columbia University and stuff and so forth. So I was able to get into the engineering program. And so I transferred. I said, okay, well, I got the engineering. I can finish out my basketball career. I can finish playing. It'll keep me motivated. I can work a little part-time job, to help out with the baby. So I'm going back home. So I came back, and I came back down to City College, and the coach loved me. Gary Smith, shout out Gary Smith. A lot of people know him around. Gary Smith, he loved me to death as soon as I touched down. He just loved my game, whatever. And we played, and I played. I played the first year. I'm trying to remember. I played the first year, and I averaged about somewhere around 20. So you know what I mean. And then I played my second year, and I averaged about 24, maybe or so. And then there was another kid that was there, Marlon Jackson. He was averaging a few points. Right? We didn't have the greatest teams. You know what I mean? We did not. We didn't have the greatest team. And actually, one of the better players that was on that team didn't even start. Coach didn't even start him because he was being true to his dudes that have been with him for 4 years. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna shout out. I'm gonna go ahead and shout him out and get it over with now. I'm gonna shout out my boy Cass. So, Sean Hawthorne. He transferred in from LA.
He did.
Yeah, he came in from Boise State. He came in from Boise. And
so that's how y'all met. I thought y'all met through something else.
But listen, Glenn, you want to really hear how we met? So I'm in the rotunda. That's like a meeting place for all of the students, where all the students hang out, like on the college hour. So I'm in the rotunda and I'm chilling, and dudes is coming up to me and saying, "Yo, we about to go down to the gym for college hour. There's this new recruit in from LA, and he think you're nice. LA, come on, Chief, let's go get him. You know what I mean? They came to get me to go get him. But let be known that me and Sean, we had already been chopping it up and kicking it. So when they went down to the college hour, I ended up playing with Sean, and he was like, "Yo, that's who we was telling you to come get." I was like, funny stuff, bro. It's funny stuff. And then
salute my guy Cass. Sean
that's been my
Hawthorne,
partner ever since, bro. And that's been my dude ever since. No doubt.
And that's how I got the MVP through Sean Hawthorne, right? Through him.
Likewise, me too.
And my cousin, being good friends, that he plugged me in, man. So salute to you, brother. Appreciate you. Love always.
Yes, sir.
And Marco's on here too. Mark Petit is on here too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Say what's up to Marco.
Yes, sir. Big shout out, Mark Petit. Mark, what up?
Yo, salute to Speedy, Marco.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a big up. That's big for him, man.
I don't know. You better get one of the most assistant jobs. Let me stop. He's still coaching his son, man.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So, the transition that you had to make in college, which we definitely spoke about, as far as getting your grades, balancing college life, and a lot of kids need to hear this, because once you leave home, there's nobody to knock on your door. Time to go to school, do your homework. Nobody's doing that. You got, if y'all co-ed, you probably got girls downstairs, next door.
Right down the hall, bro. I used to have
everywhere.
That's a fact. That's a fact, man.
So, and if you don't learn to balance it, things can get out of hand.
Real quick. Before you know it. Real quick.
Definitely. And when I was coming up, a lot of guys was transferring, and and I was thinking about transferring at one time, man, but my mom's like, "Listen, when you went to college, go to the NBA and get an education."
That's right.
So that was that, man. So tell me your biggest game that you had at Thompson.
First playoff game that we made the first playoff game that we made I don't know how long in school. It had to be in like 30 years. Right? It was I was playing with Jude, my boy Jude, principal, and we both were having a pretty good year, and it was enough to get us into the playoff. We got into that in this playoff game, and we lost. I forgot the name of the team. But it was a whole bunch of kids from New York City. They had a whole bunch of kids from Riverside. You know what I mean? Riverside was in a bunch of kids upstate. I forgot the name of the school, and they were stacked. You know what I mean? They had a couple of kids that went to went to U Albany, U Binghamton when they were 21, so on and so forth. So they were stacked, and it was and pretty much on our team, it was me, Jude, and a bunch of kids that just played rec ball, and we had to go out there and hold it down. And I think we both left with like 40 that game. It was in a losing effort, but it was still like the biggest game because we fought tooth and nail all the way through to the end. So that had to have been like the biggest game. And they had like this big article in the paper about us in regards to that too. But
wow.
Shout out.
So now you're in the next transition, right? Coming home because now you have a child to take care of. Things getting kind of serious. And after CCNY, Did you play a full year, or you just was focusing on school?
No, I played the full. I played the full. I played the full season, but it wasn't like that, man. I mean, I couldn't put in the effort that I wanted to put in because I had responsibilities. You know what I mean? I had to go to work. You know what I mean? I remember days of getting out of class, and going to work, because we used to work at the Children Aid Society in Douglas Center. That's where I met Big Harold. And
Okay.
yeah, in Douglas Center, and then leaving there and leaving work and then going to games up wherever we had a game at. And sometimes
Right.
sometimes we would get there at at halftime. Sometimes you get there halfway through the first quarter. You know, when I say we, I'm talking about me and Sean Hawthorne. We get there like halfway through the game, you know, and we have to try to make a comeback, and we have to try to fight tooth and nail to get back, you know. And sometimes, and most of the times, we would. And most of the times we would, but I wasn't able to dedicate myself to it the way that I needed to. You know what I mean? In order for it to pay real dividends for me. But then I'm just happy that I was able to actually finish out my career.
That's real. How important was the New York City Pro-Ams to your psyche, to your basketball psyche, after going through what you went through in college? How important was those tournaments, you know, and being on the circuit?
Validation. It was validation, Glenn. I didn't get an opportunity to go play Division I basketball. You know what I mean? But it was validation for me, man. It told me that I could compete with anybody. You know what I mean? And if not, it was just a super confidence booster. And it was just happy. It was just good just knowing that, yeah, I'm right there with y'all. I wasn't lucky enough, right? And you know how I feel about luck. Luck is just opportunity that you took advantage of. I wasn't lucky enough to take advantage of my opportunities. So, but I had an opportunity to really measure my game against some of the best, you know, some best ball players I ever played against. You know, and I was
High
able
school,
to,
college greats,
out.
Park legends, you name them, you played
Yeah.
against them.
I played against them all. You know, and I'm not here like acting like I was the nicest dude out there in the world. I'm not. I was not. But I was respected, and I was able to hang out, and I was able to hold my own. You know what I mean? And in this game, man, I'm not. You know, in this game, people kind of take it the wrong way. It's really not about how nice you are. It's about what kind of person the game made you. You know what I mean? Did it build you? Did you make you into a better person? You know what I mean? And I think for me that it did. You know, it kind of molded me into a better dude. So, but the program, well, yeah, it was validation. It was fun. It was all of that. You know what I mean? You get a chance, the camaraderie. You get and first of all, if you're on the basketball circuit, bro, you're part of a subculture that you'll never not be a part of. No matter where you go, and no matter where you go or what you do, and people who are on the circuit know. No matter where you go in New York, there's somebody that know you from playing this game. Somebody that respects you from playing this game, and it's always love right off rip. You know, so. I just try to show it back whenever I can.
Well, I know what you said is true about it's not about who's the nicest, but this next question I need to know. Let's talk about who asked you bust and how much it let you know that you could play on that level of the guy who you was facing during one of those pro-am games. Let's think about somebody who you done played against and who everybody know, and that he didn't know that he was playing against somebody who was a killer.
You know what? I don't know the name. My boys tell me that they got the game on tape. A couple of dudes I know, they say they have it on
What
tape.
game? What game, fam? What game?
I don't know. It was a Utopia Parkway. Like if you're in Queens, you know, there was the Utopia Parkway was throwing this tournament that was kind of picking up a little bit of steam, ahead of steam, right? And they had all of these recruits and these kids that played on the St. John's University team. So I don't know the names of the dudes that was out there. I wasn't concerned with any of that. But I ended up getting to the game late at halftime, and I ended up leaving with like 48. So I don't know, but it was, you know what I mean? Then they had the 6'9s out, and you know, they had them all out. They had all of the big boys out. They had all of the big names, all of the super quick guards out. I got there at halftime, and I left with like 48. And my boys told me, it told me that that they actually had it. They got it on film.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
We need to see that. We need those receipts, fam.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy. So now, you know, we meet up at Martin Porres. You know, we had a little school team for a while, and then we started the mentorship program that we, you know, do at Spear of Influence, and then you guys created a basketball team because there were no sports at our school in the beginning, and so all of these things kind of fell into place. Let's talk about your journey as a coach at Martin Porres, the challenges you faced from a game-to-game basis, and let's talk about all the positive things that have happened since, you know, you've been coaching at Martin Porres, as well as being the athletic director.
All right. So I mean, the coaching at Martin Porres came by way. I guess it came by way of the after school and Saturday program that the school was sponsoring. You know, I started working there. When I started working there, Sarge asked me if I would be interested. And people who work, familiar with Martin Porres now, I'd be interested in coaching their Saturday program, a team in their Saturday program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at that point, I had absolutely no experience coaching. You know, all I knew, I just played ball. You know what I mean? So it was, it took a bit of courage for me to step out on that limb and say, okay, yeah, I'll do it. You know, but I ended up doing it. And first year we stumped, of course, but the kids had fun because they just wanted to play. But it was real. It was basketball without the trimmings. It was just people who were playing the game for the love of it, you know, because they love the game, and kids that just played and just wanted to get better at it, you know. But we stunk. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Maybe we won 2 games that season, and they played like a 25-game season. Maybe we won 2 games. But the kids played. They had fun. They grew as players. They got better as players, and I grew as a coach. You know, so I did that for a couple of years under the tutelage of Artie Williams. Big shout out, Coach Artie.
Salute to the legend Artie Williams.
Yeah, if you guys are not familiar with Coach Artie Williams and his wife Betty ran the St. Vincent's program. I think they had like Chafet McNeil and some other big name players that they coached out of there. Right, and then once they established that program, they came out to Queens and established St. Mary's, which is over in Springfield Gardens. A lot of people from Springfield Gardens will know that school. And Coach Artie kind of took me on his wing and told me, you know, you got it. You know, if I had questions I need to ask, he was always there to answer them, and he kind of supported me through it. So I continued to coach. You know what I mean? And in 2 years, we had an undefeated season. You know what I mean? Just a group of kids from the neighborhood. No, I'm not going out recruiting kids and none of that crazy stuff. All I'm taking is kids that just wanted to play. But, you know, the kids wanted to play. They dedicated themselves to coming in and playing, and we went through the entire season undefeated. You know, we got to the postseason. We got all the way to the championship, and then we lost the one in the chip to, if I'm not mistaken, Most Precious Blood. I think it's a team that's based out of Coney Island.
Oh, okay. Flames or Most Precious Blood. Either way, yeah.
So and we ended up losing to them in the chip, which they had a pretty good team. They had a team that was, you know, real good game, close game. But from there, we, you know, every year after that, we would go and we would just take it. And we won it the next year. The following year, we went back to the chip. I think we lost again, so on and so forth. All right. All the way up until the point where we began to start thinking about things on a different level. You know, the high school that we were working on the Porres, you know, in case anybody doesn't know, it was a school for students with special needs, and they didn't really have an opportunity to show any of their athletic talent. So I thought it'd be a good idea if we tried to establish an athletic program. So we went up to we started searching. We started looking around for anybody that would take us, right? Because when you have that special ed label or that special needs label, nobody wants you in that league. So we started doing some research, and I got in contact with somebody else from the PSAA, from IPSL, right? That's the
IPPSAL.
IPPSAL league. And we went out for an athletic directors meeting where I had to pitch the school and kind of convince the board of athletic directors that we would be a good fit for the program, you know. So they agreed to let us in the first year, and I was on a probationary period. You know, we had a decent first year, but we weren't at the top of the top of the league. So the next year, they let us in. So we had the opportunity to actually play for a championship. And that year we just blew up. And Glenn, I think that's the year that you came on along with us for a little bit, right? And
that was the championship year, 2013, 2014.
the championship. So and you know, and then from there it was history. I mean, we won the championship, and at the end of the year, the league dissolved.
Why did they dissolve?
I would rather for whatever reason. I'm not going.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just say I don't know. But the league dissolved, and then we were stuck with the challenge of trying to find another league to play.
All right, T. Let me say it. We was a special ed high school playing in a prestigious, rich league.
Yes, sir.
These schools and campuses, kids driving, and it was cool when we were losing, and the poor kids are losing. But once the poor kids started winning, things changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you. Yes, it is because we won that year, man.
Yo,
listen,
T,
it is what
I'm
it is.
gonna bring in my guy Jamel Powell. He got something he want to show you. Then we gonna finish up because I know he has something he has to do. Couldn't be here tonight, but Instagram has done something for us, and voila, we're gonna make magic right now. All right, I guess in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey,
there go my guy right there.
You can see it?
Yes, sir.
Bring it closer. Bring it closer a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I got that gangster lean look.
Okay.
He got that gangster lean look.
Yes,
No
sir.
doubt. Oh, I see. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Hold
on. So I'll see him tomorrow. Get the pitch, and I'll bring it for you Tuesday.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good luck.
All right, cool.
All right.
No doubt, brother.
All right,
appreciate you, my guy.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man.
Just so y'all know, that man went to Jackson too. Just so y'all know. Let him know, Mel. You hope you was down.
Hell yeah.
He played for Jackson too.
Coach Grammy all day.
Yes,
all right, brothers.
All right, go.
All right, peace, my guy.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Want to make sure my guy was straight. He was like, I ain't going to be there, but yo, G, I could just, put another screen to show T. Got us strong. It's my Jackson guy. So salute to my guy, resident artist Jamel Powell.
Yes, sir.
So we talked about that championship year. What was very special, man. We had some a good team, good nucleus of guys.
Good group of kids, yo. What an amazing group of kids, yo.
And a lot of people have no idea, and I always tell guys, who are very surprised that our kids are special ed kids, how well they behave, how well they conduct themselves. We was showing up to schools with ties, shirts on, and we had guys in it. In the beginning, we had to convince dudes to kind of do it, but then guys was running around the school like, yo, you got a tie? Yo, you got a tie? Yo, I bought an extra one. And it became a team thing, and they bought into it. And another thing that I noticed why we was able to win that championship, because these kids liked each other and they got along.
Yes. Yeah, amazing group of kids, man.
Amazing group. Can't forget Taheem Stewart was on that coaching staff too.
That's right, Ty. I forgot. Yes,
Salute,
you cannot
salute
forget
my guy,
Ty. Yes,
That's right.
absolutely. That's right. Ty was with us too.
That's right. That's right.
Good group.
So now I want to talk about some things far as PSL basketball. I know they talking about having the games outside, right? Do you think kids from New York City can benefit from playing outside if the ruling goes through? And how can they keep the spectators away? They said no spectators with games being played outside.
I don't think it's a safe situation for our kids.
Oxymoron, right?
I just don't think it's a safe situation for our kids, man. Like in a gym, you can have a controlled environment. We bring in kids into a competitive atmosphere, you know, where emotions can kind of take over. But in a gym, you can kind of control it. Outside, it's just not. And let alone with the safety hazards of playing on concrete. You know what I mean? You know what the concrete did to our knees and our bodies over the years. Like,
Yep.
know,
Marco said what? Yes. The
yes.
PSAL said, I don't know if the ruling came through yet, but they're suggesting to play outside with no spectators. Remember, people, I always tell you about the hypocrisy of what's going on right now. Everything is an oxymoron. If you don't see it that way, just pay close attention. They want kids to play outside.
No, man, no way.
In the hood.
No way.
Because all the good parks are in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're going to tell spectators they can't watch.
Can't watch.
So what about the beef that happened around the corner and money come running and there's gunshots? They're not worrying about the damn game.
Mm.
If you have it in the gym, you can close everything off.
That's right.
You can allow who comes in and who doesn't come in the gym. But on the outside,
no go.
You ducking bullets.
No go. And no spectators, no go. No go.
How do you keep the girlfriend away? How do you keep the cheerleaders away? When they saying the game is outside, I have to just take the train and I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody in your team got beef, he may not show up to the game because he got to play outside. It's a lot, man. It's a lot, man. So, Marco, yeah, just in case you didn't know, that's what's going on right now. What's your take on reclassing back?
On reclassing back? I mean, it's situational. I mean, for a kid, if a kid is doing it for a legitimate reason, right? If you're doing it because they don't have the skills that they're going to need to make it in college, or to survive college academics, and they're reclassing so that they can build some of those skills before they go, so they can have a chance of being more successful, then yes, right? But if you're doing it just for basketball, then I think that's the wrong reason. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of reclassifying. I'm not. I'll be honest. But I can see how it can help some kids, but not all. You know, and it's becoming a fad where dudes are just reclassifying because they think they can go back and get better numbers. You know?
So if a parent come to you and say, excuse me, Coach Atef, my son is 3 years old and I want to reclass him. So you know,
like it just sounds crazy, right?
He's in third grade.
He's in like fourth grade. But
and
that's
I'm allowed to reclass right now.
Yeah, that's what it's come to. But that's what it's come to. You know what I mean? Like, and that's crazy. And that's crazy.
I'm pregnant. And I want my kid to reclass.
It's crazy. But they're doing all kind of stuff now, man. Like
I'm not
even what it was.
It's just I like to hear guys' opinions on it. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. But you know,
yo,
basketball.
When you gonna come get this? Yo, LeVar, when you gonna come get this picture, fam? It's in. Yo, just to let you know, if you go to the Game Over gym, it's in the Game Over gym. Because I thought you guys were gonna meet me there, but Eric Hick has it. So let me know when you want to go pick it up, and I'll contact him. All right, T. Top 5, baby. Top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Let's make some noise for the top 5. Make some noise for the top 5. All right. So we want to know top 5 players from Queens in your era. You thought I was going to let you get off easy, right? And they everybody all-time Queens. Nah, my G. I need all-time in your era. When you was coming up, who was the 5 in Queens that was the dogs?
My age group? Listen, listen, I'm going to name 5 Jackson dudes, man. How you going to put me on the spot like that? You know I'm going to name 5 Jackson dudes. Dave Edwards, Teddy Portwan, Crafton Ferguson, Steve Frazier, and you can and Teddy Hatcher. All right, now a lot of people don't know who Teddy Hatcher was, but he played in the backcourt with Teddy Portwan and Teddy. And the people who know basketball, God rest my dude. Like, if people know basketball, know Ted Hatcher was that dude. All right, so if anybody from Jackson that is watching, they know who I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna call it at that. It's Teddy Hatcher.
That's dope. That's dope. All right. Top 5 New York City players all time.
New York City players all time. Top 5 all time? Like, you talking all time?
All time. All time. Who's your top 5?
I'm going to name dudes who I had an opportunity to see. I know it's a lot of old school dudes that I haven't had, had a chance to.
That's cool. That's cool.
So, I'm going with Chibba. Shout out Left Right. All right. It's Kenny Anderson. Definitely like one of the.
Oh, by the way, his full episode is up tonight on YouTube. So please go to YouTube, check out the new Kenny Anderson full episode. All right? Part 2 coming soon. But check out part 1 tonight.
I'm gonna go Lloyd Daniels. 3P was that dude.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go with my guy from out in Brooklyn. I'm gonna go with McNasty.
Conrad McRae. Ooh.
Leave him out. I'm gonna add Malik Sealy into that mix.
Woo! He going for the boroughs, man. What you doing? Uptown.
I'm just going around. I'm just, from what I've seen. What, I got one more? Ooh.
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm not leaving nobody out. I may have to go with Jamal Mashburn.
Ooh, wee! Cardinal Hayes, official tissue.
Yes, sir.
All right, before you leave, I know you got my guy, Cass, on here. Cass is from California, but he lived in New York City for a long time. Give me a good Cass story, a good Cass basketball story.
Cass, why you putting you on the spot? Why you putting you on the spot?
Give me something that you remember that we can say about Cass right now.
We're in the middle of a tough. I think we playing Hunter. We in CCNY. We're in the middle of a game, tough game. My mom's just on the front. My mom's just sitting on the front bench. My little brother's sitting right there looking at me. Cash is on the bench. Cash not in the game. It's a close game, a winnable game. You know what I mean? It's one of the few times the gym was packed, and we going back and forth. All right. I think at the time they had these 2 or 3 dudes that was pretty decent, like kind of athletic, and I'm going back and forth with them by myself pretty much. They score, I score. They score, I score. Cash is like, yo, on the bench, he's just winding up. Like, I need to play. Let me be in the game. I want to help. So every time out, coach called timeout, I hear him on the end of the bench somewhere in the background. I want to play. So we keep coach still didn't sub him in the games. Coach is going with his boy that he's been with him for 4 years. We go back in the game. We go down like 5 or 6. Coach calls a timeout right away. We come back to the bench. Coach is like, yo, we need to do this and do that. I hear Cash on the other side. I want to play. Then I just hear boom. The dude kicks the Gatorade can over. I said, I want to play, coach. I want to play. And coach just threw his clipboard in the air and said, Chief, go get him, please. Go get your boy. But that's just the story, man. He used to be intense, man, because, he just really wanted to get out there and help me. He see me out there struggling, and he just really wanted to get out there and play, man. But there's something that he and I joke about and we laugh about all the time. But it's just who he is.
Lights out Cali. Cali shoot that thing from anywhere, unconscious. Okay? Yeah. And it's crazy, right? I talk about the situation where, I was at Fairleigh Dickinson and first game starting, dropped, 25 points. Assistant coach come to me and said, you won't do that again. And I'm going, what the hell? But he was just trying to mess up my psyche to get his boy in a better position, who he recruited.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it don't make a difference who you are. It can happen to you. You get caught up in the politics of this basketball game. But it didn't destroy you guys as people. And you guys, you know, two of my favorite people in the world, man. So salute to you guys.
Yes, sir.
And tonight is your night, my brother. So I'm glad you was able to come on the show, you know what I'm saying, and tell your story. Because a lot of things I knew and a whole bunch I didn't know. So I'm glad we got to clarify some things tonight.
Now, Reef, what's up, Reef? Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Any last things you want to say before you get off here? Oh, yeah, you get to nominate someone too, but, you know, anybody who you tell me to put on, it's a go anyway, so.
Yes, sir. You know I got a whole bunch of dudes from Queens, and I got to hold my dudes from Queens down. And Corey, if you're watching, Corey, you better get on the show. I told you already. You better get on. All right? But yeah. But
and she's on my intro. I got her on my intro, so she's on every time a video is played on my YouTube, that intro is playing.
Yeah. I'm gonna get she gonna get on. She'll be on. Because people really need to hear her story. She really has a really good story.
No doubt. I want to say shout out to my grandniece who's on. What up, Tage? Love you, baby girl. So, definitely, man. Again, I'm glad to have you on. Appreciate you telling your story. And go get that picture to you. Oh yeah, hold on. Cause I had to pack it away nice so I wouldn't forget, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Hold on. You say gray hoodie and t-shirt, right?
Yes, sir.
Gray hoodie and t-shirt. Put your order in. We will make it happen.
Oh, yes, sir.
Here we go. So I'll definitely get this tomorrow, my brother.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Appreciate you, sir.
No doubt. Appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thank you, everybody, for the support, for buying the merch. We have more coming soon. Trust me. Thank you, T. I appreciate you, my brother.
Anytime.
I'll let you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. In the morning.
Wow. Another awesome show. Listen, bro. Sometimes it's not how you start off, it's how you finish. And knowing that you're going to hit some bumps in the road may force you to leave school early because you got to take care of your responsibilities. As long as you understand the most important person is you and the people you love. As long as you keep that right, you be on your way. So with saying that, I'd like to salute my guy, Atef Aiken, a real one. Definitely. Thank you for joining us, Basketball is Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And you know, we are the official home for New York City basketball. I see people are still leaving comments. What's up? What's up? Yes, I love you too, baby girl. Love you, love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. To all my basketball heads, peace.
Y'all ready?